I guess I should start at the beginning, and the beginning is that I received an email from John Boncour, and I later learned that John Boncour was also known as Splitting the Sky. The email really was basically informational about the valiant effort of Splitting the Sky to serve a people's warrant on George Walker Bush, who happened to be in Canada at the time, probably receiving a huge amount of money at a speaking engagement. And the people's warrant basically charged George Walker Bush, our former president, with war crimes. Now, I think the world understands now that not only is the United States guilty of war crimes, torture, crimes against humanity, and crimes against the peace, particularly under the administration of George Walker Bush, unfortunately and sadly, these criminal and illegal activities haven't ended under the administration of Barack Obama.
Well, we see the troop surge now, and at the same time that he's receiving his Nobel Peace Prize.
That's very interesting that we have one former president who is able to walk all over the world and be received at the highest levels of society by governments and treated as a hero, when in actuality we know that people in his administration lied to the American people and took our country into war, lied to the international community, and took other countries into war. And those wars continue today. Not only do those wars continue today, but sadly, President Obama has decided to escalate the war in Afghanistan. It is as if we, some of us who are old enough, are reliving the Vietnam War era, when there was a fateful decision that was made by President at that time, Lyndon Johnson, to send troops into Vietnam, representing a huge escalation into the affairs of that part of the world. And thousands of deaths later, people are still trying to put their lives back together. Some lives will never be put back together. Many people in Vietnam still suffer from the effects of that war. The United States government has never made restitution to the government of Vietnam for the crimes that were committed. People who ordered crimes committed were actually never punished, were given medals and awards of honor by the state, and the international legal community, the national legal community of the United States failed to punish those who were guilty of criminal behavior. And that is the same situation that we are witnessing today, where international institutions have failed to deliver justice. And when international institutions and national institutions fail to deliver justice, then what are individuals to do? The individuals then do what Splitting the Sky did. They take justice into their own hands. exercising their human rights and protecting the human rights of everyone else.
Mm-hmm. And Splitting the Skies trial, that will be in Calgary next March, um, may or may not, the trial itself may or may not, the prosecutors have kind of said that they don't want to bring Bush's misdeeds into the trial and just look at the obstruction of justice on part of Splitting the Sky. And if there's no, that would mean that they couldn't really bring in any sort of witnesses that would kind of testify to the war crimes committed by Bush. However, if that's the case, there's still going to be a people's tribunal, and so whether it's the actual tribunal within the Alberta justice system or a people's tribunal, which will be kind of parallel to that, you intend to take part?
Well, I haven't been invited to take part in that. This is news to me about a people's tribunal, but certainly a people's tribunal should come after the failure of the Canadian government to render justice in this matter. Now, I still hold out hope that the people of Canada will be able to prevail upon their government to allow justice to be served. And if justice is served, then the charges will be dropped against Splitting the Sky. Perhaps we could even see charges initiated against those who are really culpable of the true crimes, the great crimes of crimes against humanity.
Right. And as well as former U.S. Attorney General Ramsey Clark, if you're invited to be a witness at the trial, you're willing to participate?
Absolutely, I'm willing to participate and tell the truth as I see it about who the real criminals are.
Okay, well that surely will be interesting, and that's what I mean. It's all playing out right now. We'll see what happens, what the court will allow, and what they want to focus on, and everything like that. But I mean, I do think they have to take into a consideration Splitting the Sky's motives for why he did a supposedly obstruct justice when he's trying to tell the police officers to do their duty and arrest a war crime according to Canadian law on not allowing war crimes to enter the country, war criminals to enter the country.
Well, the Canadian government is itself somewhat suspect with its failure to allow a sitting member of Parliament in the United Kingdom, Commonwealth, a fellow Commonwealth country, to enter. And recently, one of our activists, Medea Benjamin of Code Pink, was detained and delayed entry into Canada. And all of this does not bode well for the people of Canada. And Canada has always enjoyed a wonderful reputation around the world for doing good works, but recently the government of Canada has been willing to see its own young people die in acts of friendly fire, no less. For what reason? And these acts have been committed in Afghanistan, and what is the real reason that has been given to the people of Canada that their young men and women, the treasure of that country, are being offered up in sacrifice in the sands of Afghanistan?
Right. Well, Afghanistan is kind of portrayed as the good war because America and, well, the world, or the free world, was attacked on September 11th. And that's kind of the justification for that war.
Well,